Okay, so this is numbers 12 and 13 from the review. It's been requested that I just give a little bit extra of an explanation on those two, and that's on graphing the quadratic, and I'm finding the axis of symmetry, the vertex, the x-intercepts, and the y-intercepts. I'm going to start with the vertex. This particular example is in vertex form, so the vertex is really easy to see because it's sitting right there. Now remember, the generic form has that as a minus sign. So that means that our vertex is actually at -2, +2. Okay, so if it's in vertex form, it's right there for you. The axis of symmetry is always at the x value of the vertex. So if I look at the x value here, it's going to be at x equals -2. Okay, so that takes care of the axis of symmetry and the vertex. X-intercepts and y-intercepts. Let's go ahead and add a new page. Okay, so if we go back to our equation, to get the x-intercepts, you let y equal 0. So I'm going to plug in a 0 for y, and then I've got to solve. So I've got to subtract 2 from both sides. So now we've got this. I'm going to divide both sides by -1, so that makes this the positive. Take the square root of both sides. So now I've got positive or negative square root of 2 equals x plus 2. Subtract the 2 from both sides, and that's what gives me the -2 plus or minus the square root of 2. Now remember, those are intercepts, so it's -2 plus the square root of 2, comma 0, and -2 minus the square root of 2, comma 0. And for the y-intercepts, we're going to go ahead and let x be 0. So I'm going to plug in a 0 here. So I've got -4 plus 2, or -2, equals y. So that's 0, comma, -2. Now a couple other things that we know about this graph is that it opens down, and you've got 3 points now. You know the vertex, you know the x-intercepts, you know the y-intercepts. You should be able to get a pretty good idea of the graph. The other one, number 13, let me go ahead and add a new page. We had y equals 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Now this one is not in vertex form. So to get the vertex, I would use -b over 2a to get the x value, the x coordinate of that vertex. So the opposite of b, remember this is a, b, and c. So the opposite of b is going to be a positive 5. 2, and then a is 2. So we have 5/4. And that's the same as 1.25. And I can take that value and plug it back in for x. And that's going to give me the y coordinate. Okay, so that is where I got the y coordinate value from on the review that I've sent out, the answer key I've sent out. For the x-intercepts and y-intercepts, so just like we did in the last one, to get the y-intercepts, I'm going to just plug in a 0 for x. So I've got just -3. So that's 0, comma, -3. Okay, so that's my y-intercept. To get the x-intercept, I've got to let y be 0. And what I did for this is I went ahead and factored it. So that's a -6x squared. So I need two values that multiply to -6 that add to give me -5. So that's -6x plus x. And then I can group them. So if I take out a 2x, I've got x minus 3. There's a 1 there. So it's 2x plus 1, x minus 3. So if I set each of those equal to 0, I get the negative 1/2 and the 3. So that's negative 1/2, comma 0, 3, comma 0. And then the only other piece was the axis of symmetry. And again, the axis of symmetry is just x equals, and then the x-coordinate of the vertex, which we had is 1.25. I hope that helps to at least see it worked out a little bit more than I was able to show you on the answer key. Any other questions, please feel free to email me, and I'll make more videos before you guys need to take your test by tomorrow. Thanks!